The sleek metal ship of the Galactic Concordat broke through the darkness of space near Earth's orbit. It was massive, twice the size of humanity's largest space station. People on Earth looked up at the night sky, some with fear, others with hope. Inside the United Nations Space Command Center, Ambassador Du-hyun stood tall despite his racing heart. This was humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. Screens around the room showed the alien ship, its strange designs unlike anything humans had created. "They're hailing us," said a technician, her voice steady despite the tension. Du-hyun nodded. "Put them through." The main screen flickered, revealing a being with gleaming scales and 4 eyes set in a triangular face. Its mouth moved in strange ways as it spoke, the words translated by computers. "I am High Commander Vel of the Galactic Concordat. We have observed your world for some time." Du-hyun introduced himself and welcomed the aliens to Earth. 3 days later, he led Earth's delegation to meet the aliens face-to-face on their ship. With him came Dr. Sunmi, Earth's leading expert in biology, and General Daeho, representing Earth's defense forces. The inside of the alien ship was cold, with strange lights that made human skin look pale. High Commander Vel sat on a raised platform, surrounded by other aliens whose scales shimmered in different colors. "Your species is young," said Vel, looking down at the humans. "The Concordat offers Earth protection as a developing world. You will have limited rights, of course, until you prove yourselves worthy." Sunmi noticed how the aliens kept their distance. She saw small devices scanning the humans, likely studying their biology. "We appreciate your offer," Du-hyun replied carefully, "but Earth wishes to join as an equal member." The aliens' translator struggled with what seemed to be laughter. "Equality must be earned. If you insist, you must pass the ascension trials. Many species have failed." After the meeting, aboard Earth's space station, General Daeho studied the data from their sensors. "They're hiding something. Their ship has weapons far beyond what they showed us." Sunmi nodded in agreement. "And did you notice how they scanned us? They're looking for weaknesses." "The Concordat claims to have thousands of member species," said Du-hyun, reading from a tablet. "But they've only shown us images of 12. Where are the others?" For 2 weeks, the Concordat ship remained in orbit. More aliens came down to Earth, always with their scanning devices, always asking questions about human biology, human limits, human fears. One night, Sunmi was working late in her lab when the computer alerted her to a transmission. She had placed a small device on one of the alien scanners, hoping to capture their data. What she found made her blood run cold. The next morning, she rushed into the crisis meeting room where Du-hyun and Daeho were talking. "The trials are a trap," she said, placing her tablet on the table. "Look at this data. The Concordat has done this before. Species that fail their trials don't just get rejected, they get classified as resources." "Resources?" Daeho asked, his face grim. "Slaves, test subjects, or worse," Sunmi explained. "Their whole system is built on finding and exploiting new species." On the screen before them were images of worlds stripped of resources, of alien beings working in mines, of experiments too horrible to describe. Du-hyun's phone rang. "The Concordat has announced the first trial," he said after answering. "We must send 5 representatives to their ship in 3 days." "We can't refuse without looking weak," said Daeho. "And we can't fight them yet, their technology is too advanced." "Then we do what humans have always done," Sunmi said, determination in her eyes. "We adapt. We overcome. We surprise them." 3 days later, 5 humans prepared to board a shuttle to the Concordat ship. They were the best Earth had to offer: an athlete, a scientist, a soldier, an engineer, and a diplomat. As they prepared to leave, Du-hyun addressed them. "Remember what we learned. They think we are weak because our bodies don't have natural armor like theirs. They don't understand our endurance, our creativity, our determination." The 5 nodded. They carried hidden sensors and communication devices, ready to learn everything they could about their challengers. As the shuttle docked with the alien ship, High Commander Vel watched through a viewscreen. "Such fragile creatures," he said to his second-in-command. This will be over quickly. What the aliens didn't know was that humans had faced challenges throughout their entire evolution. They had survived predators, diseases, climate changes, and their own wars. They had always adapted, always survived. The Concordat had chosen their newest target poorly. They had challenged the wrong species. The 5 human representatives stood inside a large metal chamber aboard the Concordat ship. The walls curved around them like the inside of a giant egg. Strange lights pulsed overhead, casting shadows that moved in unnatural ways. "Welcome to the first Ascension trial," announced High Commander Vel through speakers. His voice echoed in the chamber. "Many species fail here. It will test your physical limits." Jinho, the team's engineer, studied the room carefully. He noticed small devices built into the walls that looked like gravity generators. Next to him, Mina, the athlete, stretched her muscles, preparing for whatever might come. "The trial begins now," said Vel. The floor beneath them suddenly shifted. The gravity changed, pulling them sideways toward one wall. All 5 humans stumbled but quickly regained their balance. "They're testing our structural integrity," said Sunmi, the scientist. "Their species has exoskeletons, hard shells outside their bodies. They think our internal skeletons are weak." The gravity shifted again, now pulling them toward the ceiling. Jiho, the soldier, reached out and grabbed Eugene, the diplomat, before she could fall. "Stay together," he called. "Use each other for support." From the control room, Vel and 5 other Concordat officers watched the humans with their 4 eyes. They expected to see broken bones and torn muscles. Instead, they saw the humans adapting, working together, finding ways to brace against each shift. "Increase gravity by 20%, ordered Vel, his scales darkening with irritation. The humans felt the increased pressure. Mina showed the others how to position their bodies to distribute the strain. Her years as an athlete had taught her how to handle physical stress. "They didn't expect us to survive this," Jinho said quietly, examining a panel near the floor. "I think I can see the pattern to these shifts." For an hour, the gravity continued to change direction and strength. The humans grew tired but worked together to adapt. Jinho predicted each change moments before it happened, giving the team time to brace themselves. In the control room, Vel's aide approached him nervously. "Sir, they should have failed by now. Their endoskeletons should have snapped under the pressure." "Then we will increase it again," said Vel. But before he could give the order, Jinho had reached a panel on the wall. Using a small tool hidden in his sleeve, he opened it and studied the circuits inside. "What is he doing?" hissed Vel, leaning forward. "Stop him." The gravity suddenly returned to normal. The humans stood upright, tired but unbroken. "I think I figured out their system," Jinho said to his teammates. "Their technology is advanced but not incomprehensible." The door to the chamber slid open. 2 tall Concordat guards entered, their claws extended. "The trial is complete," one said flatly. "Return to your quarters." In the meeting room assigned to the humans, they gathered around a small table. Sunmi checked them all for injuries while Jiho made sure there were no listening devices. "They're surprised we survived," said Eugene, the diplomat. "I could see it in their posture, the way their scales changed color." Mina nodded. "This was meant to break us physically. But humans evolved under Earth's gravity. We're stronger than we look." Later that night, a young Concordat scientist named Lan approached their quarters. Unlike the others, his scales were a lighter blue, his movements less threatening. "I have been studying your species," he said quietly to Sunmi when she answered the door. "The next trial will be worse. They plan to test your respiratory systems." "Why are you telling us this?" Sunmi asked. Lan's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "Not all of us agree with how the Concordat treats new species. Some of us believe in true cooperation." After Lan left, the 5 humans gathered again. "We need to prepare," said Jiho. "If they're testing our breathing next, we need protection." Jinho was already working, using parts from their equipment to build small breathing filters. Earth's atmosphere has changed throughout our history, he explained. Humans have survived ice ages and periods of low oxygen. We're more adaptable than they realize. On Earth, the nations monitored the situation closely. Scientists and engineers worked day and night, preparing defenses in case the Concordat proved hostile. Satellites were secretly equipped with weapons, and deep space monitors watched for any sign of more alien ships. The next morning, High Commander Vel called the humans to the trial chamber again. His voice contained a new edge. The second Ascension trial will begin in 1 hour, he announced. Few species have ever reached this stage. As the humans prepared, Eugene looked at her teammates. Remember, they think we're going to fail. They don't understand what humans are capable of when challenged. Mina smiled. Then let's show them exactly what they're dealing with. The 5 humans stood at the entrance to the second trial chamber. Through the clear door, they could see a room filled with swirling mist, strange colors moving through the air like underwater currents. This chamber will test your respiratory capabilities, announced High Commander Vel from a speaker. The atmosphere will change every 3 minutes. Most species cannot adapt quickly enough. Put on the filters, Ji-Ho whispered to the team. Jinho had worked through the night, creating small breathing devices from parts of their equipment. The devices fit inside their nostrils, nearly invisible. The door slid open. The humans entered, feeling the strange air touch their skin. It felt thick and slightly oily. Sunmi activated a small scanner hidden in her sleeve. The air contains compounds similar to chlorine, she said quietly. Toxic to humans in high concentrations. From the observation room, Vel and his commanders watched with interest. Their lungs are simple and inefficient, said the chief biologist. They should begin experiencing distress within minutes. But the minutes passed, and the humans showed no signs of struggling. They breathed normally, explored the chamber, and even conversed with each other. Impossible, muttered Vel. Increase the concentration. The mist in the chamber grew thicker, turning a sickly yellow color. The humans felt the change but continued breathing through their filters. Jinho's invention worked perfectly, converting the toxic elements into breathable air. They're using technology, realized one of Vel's aides, pointing to scans of the humans. Hidden devices. Vel's scales darkened with anger. That's cheating. Stop the trial. Gas began pouring into the chamber from all sides, too much for the small filters to handle. The humans quickly covered their mouths and noses with fabric from their uniforms. Head for the door, called Ji-Ho. But the door remained sealed. The gas grew thicker. In that moment, Mina tapped Jinho's shoulder and pointed to a ventilation panel near the ceiling. He nodded, understanding. Using their combined strength, they formed a human pyramid, allowing Jinho to reach the panel. With his tools, he quickly opened it. This connects to their air system, he called down. If I can reverse the flow. His fingers worked rapidly on the circuits inside. Suddenly, the gas in the room began to be sucked out through the vents. Clean air flowed in. In the control room, alarms blared. They've hacked into our environmental systems, exclaimed a technician. Shutting down now. The door to the chamber opened. Armed guards rushed in, surrounding the humans. The trial is over, announced one guard coldly. Return to your quarters immediately. Back in their room, the humans gathered around a small table. They were tired but alive. They didn't expect us to use technology, said Sunmi. They thought we would rely only on our biology. Humans have always used tools to overcome our limitations, replied Jinho. That's how we survived on Earth. Eugene, who had been quiet, looked up from her tablet. I've been analyzing the data we've collected. There's something disturbing in their ship's databases. She showed them images of other alien species being subjected to similar trials. Those who failed were shown in later images working in mines or laboratories, clearly not as equals. The Concordat doesn't want new members, said Eugene grimly. They want servants. That night, there was a soft knock at their door. It was Lan, the young Concordat scientist who had warned them before. The final trial has been prepared, he whispered. It's designed to be lethal. No species has ever passed it. Why are they so determined to see us fail? Asked Mina. Lan's 4 eyes blinked nervously. Your planet has resources they want. And... He hesitated, they fear you. Fear us? Gi Ho was surprised. Their technology is far beyond ours. It's not your technology, said Lan. It's your adaptability. Your creativity. Most species in the Concordat evolved in stable environments. They changed slowly over millions of years. But humans. We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us daily, finished Sunmi. Predators, diseases, natural disasters. Exactly, said Lan. And there's more. A group of us disagrees with the Concordat's methods. We believe in true cooperation between species. If you can survive the final trial, we may have a chance to change things. After Lan left, Gi Ho contacted Earth using a secure channel Jinho had created. The situation is worse than we thought, he reported. The Concordat plans to fail us no matter what and then claim our planet. Back on Earth, nations that had once fought each other now worked together. Defenses were prepared. Scientists studied everything they knew about Concordat technology, looking for weaknesses. As the humans prepared for sleep, Mina looked out the small window at the stars. They think they're testing us, she said quietly. But really, they're just showing us exactly who they are. Gi Ho nodded. And tomorrow, we'll show them who humans really are. The final trial chamber was unlike anything the humans had seen before. It was massive, stretching out like an alien landscape with shifting terrains. Parts looked like desert, others like swamp. Strange machines moved through the environment, some with sharp blades, others emitting pulses of energy. The final ascension trial will determine if your species deserves consideration, announced High Commander Vel from an observation platform high above. You must reach the far side within 1 hour. No species has ever completed this challenge. The 5 humans stood at the entrance, studying the deadly obstacle course before them. They've designed this to kill us, whispered Eugene. Gi Ho nodded grimly. Notice the terrain? It changes to prevent adaptation. The machines target movement. This isn't a test, it's an execution. Jinho had spent the night analyzing data from the previous trials. Their systems all operate on the same frequency patterns. If I can disrupt those patterns. We need to split up, decided Mina. Different routes, different targets. Sunmi reached into her pocket and pulled out 5 small devices. Lan brought these last night. They'll mask our life signs from the tracking systems. Above them, Vel and the Concordat leaders watched with satisfaction. Several alien diplomats from allied species had been invited to witness humanity's failure. Observe how primitive they are, Vel told the guests. They have no natural armor, no enhanced senses, just soft skin and simple minds. The trial began with a blaring alarm. The humans moved forward, each taking a different path through the deadly landscape. The observers expected them to rush forward blindly. Instead, they moved carefully, methodically. Mina used her athletic skills to navigate the shifting terrain, staying just ahead of the changes. Gi Ho confronted the machines directly, using combat techniques to disable them. Sunmi identified safe passages by analyzing the environment. Eugene kept track of everyone's positions, coordinating their movements. Jinho made his way to what looked like a control node, a small pyramid rising from the ground. Using tools hidden in his boots, he opened a panel and began rewiring the circuits inside. In the observation room, an alarm suddenly blared. What's happening? Demanded Vel. They're interfering with the system, reported a technician. The human male has access to control node. Impossible. Shut it down. But Jinho had already completed his work. The tracking systems began to malfunction. The terrain shifts became predictable. The attack machines slowed. The other 4 humans converged on a central platform, fighting off the remaining obstacles together. They formed a protective circle around Jinho as he worked on another control node. Vel's scales turned dark with rage. Release the predators! Doors in the walls slid open. Large creatures with multiple limbs and razor-sharp teeth emerged, stalking toward the humans. Almost there, muttered Jinho, his fingers working rapidly on the circuits. One predator leaped toward them. Jiho intercepted it, using a metal rod he'd taken from a disabled machine. Mina helped him, attacking from the side. Done, called Jinho. The control node pulsed with light. Suddenly, all the predators froze in place. The room's systems went dark momentarily, then rebooted with a low hum. What have you done? Vel's voice boomed through the chamber, now tinged with alarm. Jinho looked up at the observation platform and smiled. We did what humans always do. We adapted. To the observer's shock, the humans began walking calmly toward the exit, passing frozen predators and disabled machines. The control systems had been completely reprogrammed. Even more shocking, instead of heading toward the designated exit, they were heading straight for the observation platform. Stop them! Vel commanded. Guards rushed forward, but the platform's door slid open before they arrived. Jinho had hacked that too. The 5 humans stepped onto the platform, facing the stunned Concordat leaders and diplomats. The trial is complete, said Eugene calmly. We have reached our destination. This isn't the designated endpoint. Vel sputtered. You never specified which far side we needed to reach, replied Eugene. We chose this one. One of the visiting diplomats, a tall being with crystalline features, made a sound that might have been laughter. They have outmaneuvered you, Vel. According to your own rules, they have passed the trial. Impossible. Vel's scales were now almost black with fury. Their species is too primitive. They cheated. We used our intelligence and teamwork, said Sunmi. We use technology, just as you do. If that's cheating, then your entire civilization cheats. Another alarm suddenly blared through the ship. A guard rushed in, clearly agitated. High Commander. Earth has activated defense systems. They have weapons locked on our ship. During their trials, the humans had been secretly transmitting data back to Earth. While the Concordat focused on the 5 representatives, Earth had been preparing, studying Concordat technology, finding weaknesses. It seems we've all been tested today, said Jiho, standing tall before the alien leaders. And now we know exactly what kind of neighbors we're dealing with. For the first time, Vel looked uncertain. The humans had done what no other species had managed. They had changed the rules of the game. The main chamber of the Concordat flagship had never been so tense. High Commander Vel sat rigidly on his command seat, scales flickering between colors as he struggled to maintain composure. Before him stood the 5 humans, unbroken and defiant after surviving trials designed to kill them. Your ships have entered our solar system, said Eugene calmly. 12 warships, moving toward Earth. A standard security measure, replied Vel, but his voice lacked conviction. Jiho stepped forward, placing a small device on the table between them. It projected an image of Earth's newly activated defense grid. Hundreds of satellites, previously hidden, now revealed their weapons systems. We've been busy while you tested us, he said. In the 3 weeks since first contact, Earth had worked frantically. Nations shared technology, scientists worked around the clock, and factories converted to military production. What would normally take years had been accomplished in days. Sunmi touched a control on her wrist device. We've also been studying your biology. A new image appeared, a microscopic view of Concordat's cellular structure. Your nervous system has a unique feature. It can't process certain sound frequencies. They cause immediate paralysis. Vel's 4 eyes widened. How did you acquire this information? We adapt. We learn. We overcome, replied Nina. That's what humans do. On the main view screen, they could see Earth's defense satellites activating, targeting the approaching Concordat warships. Each satellite emitted a specific frequency, the exact one Sunmi had discovered. The Concordat ships slowed, then stopped. Their weapons systems remained offline. "What have you done?" demanded Vel. "Given you a choice," answered Eugene. "You can return home peacefully, or you can experience what happens when you challenge the wrong species." A communication alert sounded. The screen changed to show an older Concordat official, his scales a deep purple of authority. High Council Leader Von Vel acknowledged, his voice suddenly submissive. "What is happening, Commander?" asked Von. "Why have our ships been disabled?" Jinho stepped forward. "Your ships are experiencing a technical difficulty. One that we can fix or make permanent." In the silence that followed, Lan and several other younger Concordat members entered the chamber. Lan spoke, his voice steady despite his obvious fear. "High Council Leader, there are many of us who have questioned our methods. These humans have proven themselves not just equal to us, but in many ways superior. They could destroy us now, but instead they offer peace." "Ridiculous," sputtered Vel. "They are primitive, weak dash." "They survived your trials," interrupted Von. "No species has ever done that. And now they've disabled our fleet without firing a shot." The council leader's scales shifted to a thoughtful blue color. "Perhaps we have been incorrect in our assessment." 3 days later, representatives from Earth met with the High Council on neutral ground, an uninhabited moon in the Jupiter system. Eugene led the human delegation, with Sunmi, Jinho, Jiao, and Mina beside her. "The Concordat has existed for 10,000 years, said Council Leader Von. "In that time, we have encountered many species. Some became members. Others became resources." "You mean slaves," said Eugene bluntly. Von's scales flickered. "Yes. It was our way. But your species has demonstrated that our way is flawed. You have shown strength through cooperation, not domination." The agreement they reached that day transformed galactic politics. The Concordat would release all enslaved species. Earth would share its defensive technology with former victims, ensuring the Concordat could never threaten them again. Most importantly, a new organization would be formed, the Galactic Alliance of Free Species, where all members would have equal standing. 6 months later, the first Alliance Summit was held on Earth. Over 20 alien species attended, many experiencing freedom for the first time in generations. The former slaves looked at humans with something like awe. "How did you defeat them when we could not?" asked one, a small being with iridescent wings. Mina smiled. "We had something you didn't. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. Predators, diseases, natural disasters, humans survived it all. We've been preparing for this challenge our entire evolutionary history." As the summit concluded, Lan approached the 5 humans who had changed everything. "My people have an old saying," he said. "The most dangerous creature is not the one with the sharpest claws, but the one that learns from its failures." Sunmi nodded. "On Earth, we say something similar. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." As ships from 20 different worlds departed Earth's orbit, a message spread across the galaxy, a warning to any who might threaten the peace of the new alliance: remember the Concordat. Remember what happened when they challenged the wrong species. And in the vast reaches of space, other civilizations took note. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not as conquerors, not as victims, but as equals who had earned their place among the stars.